With Perfect Step, it's very documentary style, a look at this martial arts Taekwondo teacher, and you see everything very much from her point of view. It's already very unique because we're seeing a woman and her point of view as a woman in this field and it not being the norm. I really enjoyed that aspect of it because it shows that the strength is not only for the men, and it was very inspirational, just her journey to how, teaching came about in such a very natural way for her. It was almost as if this was a calling that was manifested. You see everything from her students' point of view. You get to see the training, all the different levels of the students, the variety of where they are. You get to hear some of the parents and how the training has affected the students through their eyes. And then you get to hear her story and just how the experience overall of what she's been able to accomplish has impacted her life. There's something that she said that really resonated with me. Towards the end, it was, a lot of people say, if you love something, let it go. She feels that if you love something, you hold on to it, you nurture it so it grows. And I think that's just an interesting concept because to me, yes, that is the way that you grow in your love for something or something versus allowing it to kind of go away when things get too difficult. And it seems like she did not do that. And that is why she's been able to cultivate such a wonderful space for herself and within her life.
This was a really strong piece. For starters, I think what Kiran is doing is really admirable. Being able to take your passion and apply it like that and teach kids a valuable lesson, I think is just something we should all aspire to. And it's just captured here really well in this documentary style piece. We're definitely in on the mat with them, really, really feeling the impact that she has. So, again, really strong piece. Everyone involved should be really proud of this one.
For this one, there was a lot of what she said that stuck out. First of all, I know it's called the martial arts, but I never thought to compare it to the arts until she mentioned it's like an instrument and how you practice that instrument, you know the basics, and then you have your art. And I was like, duh, yes, wow. So immediately she opened my eyes in a way to something I've known about, but never really thought about. Another thing that stuck out was the bruises being medals because it could be intimidating or scary to learn a craft like this, especially if you're coming home with hurt, as she called it, but them being like medals was really poignant. I thought too, something that stood out was her mentioning that it's not that it is physically harder for females to do this. It's just this mental hurdle because men are ready to jump in and fight, and for women, it's just an extra layer because we're not used to in society being allowed to do these sorts of things. So just jumping over that extra little mind blockage is where the hurdle is. And then I finally really enjoyed kind of the dichotomy of learning her passion for this and how much she loves it and how much she wants to share it and how important it is. And then the parents and the kids being like how strict she is, because we don't see that side of like tough love. We just see sheer passion. But I think that combination of passion and strictness, as we'll call it, really is what makes her the best teacher, as they mention, for these students to learn. So, yeah.
The Perfect Step was very empowering. learning more about this Taekwondo master and her journeys, her trials, and honestly just learning about the message itself of basically no matter what, rising to the challenge and empowering others. That was a very strong message, especially in a world full of patriarchy. The ability to stand up for yourself, to defend yourself, it's a very empowering message.
This one, I thought it was very clear, very concise documentary that did a really good job of making the audience like and understand the central human subject of the documentary, as well as what her kind of ideology was, what her methodology was for what she was doing, how she approached teaching, and things like that. I also thought that the cinematography was pretty nice throughout this whole thing. As well as it had a good message. This was very easy to watch, very enjoyable to watch, and I thought that it was very well done, pretty interesting, and I enjoyed it.
I thought this film was really moving and beautiful. You know, they say at the beginning of the movie, they're like, you know, it's a martial art, it really is an art, and I felt like you showed us how it was an art. It felt like a dance. It felt like an art piece watching all of this Taekwondo. And I loved how we saw people from many different walks of life doing the Taekwondo. It also, the story of how doing Taekwondo changed her life and made her really disciplined was really inspiring. I think that the piece had a lot of depth and equally had a lot of visual beauty. I thought the way that it was shot and how the camera moved really added to the story.
I really enjoyed A Perfect Step. I think, first of all, women in martial arts aren't talked about that much. You know, with pop culture and media, it's all, it's pretty male driven. You know, I think of the Karate Kid franchise, and even now with their new spinoff, there's only, you know, a handful of female characters. So this piece really brings to light, you know, women in this space, but also, also the artistry of martial arts. I mean, it sounds silly, but, you know, martial arts is in the name, but it's usually thought of as a sport rather than, you know, this very physical art, almost like dance. And it crosses this line between, you know, fighting and you know, showcasing the movement of the body. And I think that was really nice to see that, and to see the passion of such a great character in this as well. So it was a really, really interesting story, and I think it should be seen more because you know, women in that space need to be highlighted more. So just really, really well done.